Sorry, it's first time going live on this channel, so I had to answer a couple questions. CinematicCritic, no movie this week that I saw. I'm coming back to YouTube. I always do an end of the year discussion. I'm going to, of course, share this to the Facebook page, but I'm going to use my tablet and I'm going to go through all the reviews on the Facebook page and talk about this year, 2023. Avatar Way of Water, that was December 18th, 2022. Can't do that. Babylon was an insane look at the industry. It's not based on a true story, but it does look at the industry. It might be loaded with sexual innuendo, like really, really loaded, to the point this R rating is completely deserved in that film. There are ironically other moments that go into play. African Americans, like treatment of them. Despite the ridiculous thing going on, it started out as a comedy. It pulls a complete 180 halfway into the film. Now, mind you, they started a lot of face palming. A lot. Basically, everything I've said so far is taken to the extreme as the film ends. And while it works for some stories, others is a total fail. And yet, while I can't give it the 7 to call it good, I can't say it was that bad. 6 out of 11. See if you're interested in artsy types films. Oh, and if you want an R-rated comedy with Brad Pitt, Bullet Train's way better. Trust me, that film was amazing. And so was Brad Pitt. Okay, now, also posted that same day. These were written reviews. I was trying written reviews. This one, I hear everyone calling Puss in Boots: The Last Wish the second best film in the Shrek franchise behind only Shrek 2. I disagree. You see, in my opinion, it beats Shrek 2 as well. I'm not going to read the rest of this because I have seen so many reactions online throughout the past year, and shockingly enough, I haven't bought it, but that's because I have the streaming services. You know, if it ever... And there are so many YouTube videos about it. I really don't want to beat a dead horse at this point. It is easily one of my favorite DreamWorks movies. We'll get to Ruby Gillman later. I honestly don't want to beat a dead horse, so I'm not going to say too much about Puss in Boots. What did my written review say? Ironically, the solo film Puss in Boots actually got me to love the character in a way I never had. The story is just amazing in the Puss in Boots film. Its portrayal of the panic attack is something people have. Its complete taken down of Puss's character. Not to mention, the villain is literally death. And I just love that they just come around and say it, like the way that Death comes out and says, and I don't mean it metaphorically or in any other sort of way, I'm Death, straight up. Like the way he came out and I was like, thank you for, I actually wanted confirmation. I love that DreamWorks had a full-on evil villain in, because even Death isn't full-on evil, like even at the end, Puss has to accept that he's on his last life, and he'll live his last life well, which he didn't do with the other 8 lives, and that's the whole plot of the story. And I get that they kind of probably show up in Shrek 5. Kitty better show up this time, because they end the movie saying that he's going to go meet some old friends, and they show far, far away. I loved Perito. I got ready to hate Perito. You know, classic annoying side character. Oh my god, Perito was such a breath of fresh air. While the backstory doesn't play into the film, I do recommend you see the first one, as this does include the return of Kitty Softpaws. That said, it's not a huge deal. If you don't, Kitty Softpaws is the only carryover from the first film. I'm not going to read the rest of the review. The 2022 discussion is coming, but we're discussing 2023. Still can't get over how good the film was. Okay, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. What did I say about that? Let's just go and talk about it then. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I felt like it had more heart to it. I know DC is going down. I actually we shouldn't be going by what's on the cinematic Facebook page. We should be going by it's a year later now. What do I think of a year later? I still remember things a year later. A year later, I still remember the villains weren't that bad in it. Um, the ending, they kind of had the whole Wonder Woman actually show up this thing, so the whole tease about him dating, and that's not like the first Shazam where Superman's bottom half shows up. It's actually Wonder Woman in this. Gal Gadot shows up and saves his life. Of course, I saw that coming. I don't know where that's going. For what it's worth, I think the kids in this one were a lot more tolerable, and I like the bad guys more. And that they did kind of have that little redemption arc for 2 of the 3 of them, especially one of them. But the kids were much more tolerable in this. So were the parents. I saw the twist with them going to be keeping the kids coming from the first moment they mentioned it, though. Plane shocked me with a decent story and decent characters. I don't remember it too much anymore. So, as far as its staying power, Plane, I don't remember too much. I don't remember what that was. And yes, I am about to defend Quantum Mania. It's true Marvel Studios is not where they once were. I stand by that, especially after the rest of this year. Marvels, I'll talk about that. I went to see Boom Boom Pow Pow in Pretty Color, and gosh darn it, did Quantum Mania give me that. Still, I rated it a 7 out of 11, which is an average rating for me. 7 out of 11 is average. And you expect more from a Marvel movie. That said, if you want a good parent-child drama, I suggest you watch Picard Season 3 instead. Yes, Picard has a son. He is human. It's not like the just short review for that Picard. Yeah, then I mentioned when I mentioned about Gal Gadot showing up in Shazam. Yeah, really, why? There's a reason I stopped doing written reviews after just a few months. Which one is this for? This was the last. This was the last one. No realism whatsoever. Pure action. Oh, this was about this was about John Wick. 8 out of 11 for the John Wick that came out in 2023. Even if you see certain plot points coming from the get-go, it was a very predictable movie. I think maybe that's why there is so much insane action in this film. I do remember the ending. Come on, guys, John Wick's not really dead. There's going to be more. So this is where I got back into my normal reviews. So we have the Super Mario Brothers movie. I actually really enjoyed it. I still prefer Sonic. I will always be a Sonic person over Mario, but I can respect that. Oh my God, I'll say what everyone else is saying. Jack Black as Bowser was perfect. And Peach's song, I was like, oh great, he's gonna sing. But the Peach's song has really grown on me. And I like the fact that they do go full villain with him at the end. And I think I do see this movie as a setup for the future for them. So I do believe this was a good setup movie. The other one, Fast 10, Fast 10 was in a couple weeks. Dungeons and Dragons was the next one. Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, I get it's technically an adaptation. I don't remember it all that much. I remember there were some cool battles, and I didn't hate the acting, but the story just didn't exist for me. Whereas, like, I didn't even give it a full review.
I'm gonna have to think on this one a little more as far as the rating goes. Granted,
as far as Dungeons and Dragons goes, I would actually give it a rating now. No, stop playing. I would actually give it a rating now. I would rate it a 6 out of 11, just below average, because it had some cool moments, some cool action. I didn't really get into the characters in the story. It wasn't bad. So 6 out of 11 below average. I should go back and change that.
I got up early and I went to see it before I start working about a couple. Well, now it's up. So other than mentioning that
don't automatically play these, please.
It takes place in the real world. I didn't only about 2 hours do any.
Okay, get that. Okay, there we go. So the next one I mentioned was the Super Mario movie. I just talked about that. I actually did after that a Sonic 2 versus Super Mario Brothers movie, where I admitted I liked the Super Mario Brothers movie more than the first Sonic film, but I also said that I still stand by the second Sonic film was better, because in my opinion the second Sonic film had better story than the first film, and the Mario film. As far as characters go, definitely better characters. I'm sorry, I'm not judging this based on the fact that Chris Pratt voiced Mario. I'm just not a big fan of the Mario in the movie. They made him out to be. They kind of went too hard on the girl power. I'm all for a strong female lead, but Peach is supposed to get kidnapped, and thank God they actually kind of did have Mario save her in the end. And I'm all for making her more powerful, but this is a established character who needs to be saved by Mario. So it's a different take on it. But by that thing, it is doing its own thing. I do know that the creators were involved in that they had the power to basically, stop the movie if they weren't convinced. We're going to talk about One Piece later. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, best one. I think it's because it's so disconnected from the Marvel universe and it provided a great bookend to the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. I loved Rocket's backstory. Like, really, I did. What did I say? Yeah, best one of the trilogy. The heart gets its moments to legitimately stand apart from the comedy. And that's true. The backstory is pretty tragic. And there is still comedy in this, and the best part is, the trailers don't really spoil it. So if you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3, go see it. Look, if nothing else, the villain is a villain. Okay. We got two. No, just two. Sorry. Fast 10 thoughts. Actually really fun. It was thrilling, and for once the conflict was actually good. It didn't come out of nowhere. It wasn't just random plot elements. It all floated and ended with, and then I cut it off because that wasn't spoiler review. I'm gonna be honest, I actually don't remember what it ended with. Fast and Furious, I do remember actually really enjoying the movie. As an action film, I could definitely see a Fast 11. So I would actually like to, after Fast and Furious 10, I didn't like Fast and Furious 9, but after Fast and Furious 10, yeah, I could see this story continuing. Little Mermaid live action. Prince Eric is actually great in this. And while I don't love her as much as the original, Melissa McCarthy was actually really good. I don't care that they made Ariel. No, wait. What I do care about is for the first time in one of these movies, and maybe it's just because I've been exposed to it so much now that I'm finally realizing how bad it is, the CGI disturbed me. I hate how Sebastian looks, and don't even get me started on Scuttlebutt. Yeah, the music was not good in this. I didn't say that. Father King Triton is also terrible in the animated movie. He at least had a brief moment of regret after destroying the cave. Doesn't happen here. His choice to save Ariel in the end is also played down. I compare this to Fast 10 because I have never seen Dominic Toretto act that devoted to his family. They actually upgraded his character again in Fast 10. Meanwhile, I gave Fast 10 a 9 out of 11, a 10 out of 11 personally. That was one of the ones where I split the critical rating. And I gave the Little Mermaid a 4 out of 10, and that's only that high because of the new changes. In fact, it gets a personal rating of 3 out of 11. So that's probably, I think, the first time ever where my personal rating has actually been lower. In fact, I remember thinking that. That's the first time ever where my personal rating has actually been lower than the critical rating. I'll be seeing Spider-Verse 2 tomorrow, Sunday. I never loved Spider-Verse 1. I understood the hype, and I saw it as but I never saw it as the masterpiece that everyone saw it was. Well, I clearly missed something because the sequel had me on edge of my seat the whole time, even with the annoying lady next to me hooting and hollering in my radio. I'll talk more soon, but I'll talk about it now. Spider-Verse 2, I didn't really see what made Spider-Verse so special. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. But when Spider-Verse 2 came out, it's like, maybe it's because I had seen it with Puss in Boots and I had seen all the discussion about Puss in Boots and like how great the animation was in Puss in Boots and the story and like the characters. And I was just loving Puss in Boots because of that breath of fresh air. That maybe that's when I went to see Spider-Verse 2. I looked at that. I saw the animation and how amazing it was. I got the characters. I understood the story and how deep it was. And honestly, I should go back and watch Spider-Verse 1 probably to see what I was missing that I did see in Spider-Verse 2. Spider-Verse 2 was amazing to me.
Well, I would say Elemental is a return to form for...
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, Spider-Verse was great. Elemental was great. Elemental was a sleeper hit. I was very shocked when, and that was also the first time that video I went back to video reviews. So, yeah, I mean, it was definitely a sleeper hit. Everyone remembers, like, I remember seeing everyone, like, it was getting to poor box office, and I was like, why? And then it had its comeback. I was like, okay, there you go. Elemental was definitely a good story, you know. It did have that kind of prejudice message where the father was, you know, it's fire and the father was against water, but it's like elements don't mix. I still think there were several in this thing, and I did mention this in my video review, and it still kind of bothers me. They didn't do anything like Steam. Could have made an obvious romance steamy joke there. That does kind of come into play at the end where he's like, where the shop burns down and he's steam, and when the steam cools, he turns back into water, so he does survive. But they could have done so much more with the fact that, yes, elements can mix. And I feel like they didn't go far enough with that. But I still loved the movie. I still thought it was beautiful. The story wasn't bad. And the characters. The fifth film is next week, so it's about time I watched the first 4. Yes, I finally watched Indiana Jones. 1 down, 3 to go. I'm going to knock one more out tonight. I mentioned then that this was a week after my review, that Elemental was getting its resurgence all of a sudden.
So when it comes down to Indiana Jones 3 and 4, well, 3 is definitely my favorite. Let me start by saying that.
Yeah, and 4 ended up being my least favorite, as far as Indiana Jones goes. I don't remember the first 2 ones too much. Indiana Jones just really, it wasn't my cup of tea. I did finally see them, but as much as I liked Indiana Jones, I can't even remember the story that much. I didn't love the action either in it. I don't know. Indiana Jones is just one of those cases where it's just not for me. I saw the films. Can't say I hated the films.
So anyway, the real world, Ken is going to stop.
Barbie. Oh, Barbieheimer. I did see Barbieheimer. Although for me, if I recall correctly, I think it was Barbie for me because I saw Oppenheimer first and then Barbie. I honestly don't remember whether I did Barbieheimer or Barbie. Because I recall making a joke about Barbie because I saw Oppenheimer first and then Barbie. But to talk about them, Oppenheimer was a great one of those like period pieces. I really enjoyed it. Shockingly, as did I enjoy Barbie.
Okay, I think I missed a movie, and I am going to have to go back and check my movie history.
Yeah, I missed
So, as you can tell by the title...
Actually, I never did a video review for Barbie, or if I did, I missed it. Towards the end of the year, because things have been going crazy, I did sort of pull back. But that's why I'm actually planning to go back to. Facebook has actually been going downhill as far as their videos go, and I lost a lot of reviews because they don't save your spot like YouTube does. Like YouTube will give you the option to resume, and it'll hold it there for a little while. Facebook will, God forbid you hit the wrong thing. They don't give you they give you the resume option, but it like goes away after a couple seconds. So that's why I'm moving back to YouTube. Barbie, I do feel like it was a little ham-fisted with the whole female empowerment message and making Ken seem like the bad guy. But I'd be lying if I didn't say I laughed and had a good time. And for what it's worth, I think in the real world, the story was actually really good. And I'll say it, the Mattel character, the Mattel, the big businessman, that was funny, and that was honestly that plot point was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. This is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, but I give it a 4 out of 11 because it was disappointing to me. I didn't like the story. I didn't like their portrayal of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who I am a fan of. I don't hate it as much as I did the first time I saw it. I give it a 4 out of 11. Honestly, after hearing like all the great things, maybe a 5 out of 11. It is still disappointing to me, and it is still just not a film that I enjoyed.
Alright.
Okay, there's the Barbie review. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Everything I said about the previous 4, in summary, applies to this as well. Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. You dropped the ball, DreamWorks. Bad Guys was good. Puss in Boots was amazing. The Last Wish, that is. Ruby Gillman. I was hoping anything. Unfortunately, the trailer had already revealed that the mermaid was going to betray him. Ruby. I was hoping anything. That honestly, I had seen her betray Ruby in the trailers because they gave that away, and yet I was still hoping that wouldn't be the case because they built up a friendship that it makes no sense for her to betray Ruby in the end. And the overprotective parents thing, I didn't enjoy. The Kraken thing, but like, And then the friends and the whole... It's something I've seen before. I realize I have not yet reviewed the Meg 2, and I'm not sure I will. Likewise, I'm not sure I'll be reviewing Equalizer 3 either. Equalizer 3 I did end up seeing. Meg, I've still not seen the Meg or the Meg 2. We'll get to that one. Haunted in Venice. I hear it's far more faithful than Death on the Nile, and even slightly more faithful than Murder on the Orient Express. Yeah, I saw it. Okay. I would say it's better than Death on the Nile, but not better than Murder on the Orient Express. It might be the most faithful, but I don't know if they're going to do a fourth one. I know there are a lot more books to do, and I'm not going to go by the adaptation. But looking at just the film on its own, I like that they kind of go into the characters more in this one. They focus more on the character, the main character of, I'm going to say it wrong, Hercule. They focus more on his character than the past two, so that really is, it's kind of the thing that carries it.
Okay, I would.
Five Nights at Freddy's film. Okay. Matt Pat, I knew you were lying when you said you weren't in the film. Yeah, he gets a cameo. I knew he was lying when he said that he wasn't involved. He clearly was involved. He's like one of the biggest, most involved YouTubers when it comes to FNAF. No way. And he's actually spoken with Scott Kaufman, the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, before. No way he wasn't involved in that movie. He even got to say that that's just a theory in the film. So yeah, I saw that coming from a mile away. I was not surprised when he ended up being in a cameo role. Especially knowing that other YouTubers had cameo roles in the film. Shockingly a good movie. I know it's combining. Now, this is a case where I know it's an adaptation, but I actually know a lot because of Matt Pat. I know the whole darn FNAF story. I was just watching a FNAF YouTube video before I started to do that. Yes, I am back. I've actually been doing it on Facebook for the past 3 years, but Facebook Live has actually been running into issues lately, so I'm going to come back over here. Now that YouTube also offers YouTube Live, I'm going to be doing CinematicCritic Facebook reviews over here, and just movie reviews over here, and just be sharing the links to my Facebook page. So anyway, back to FNAF. I really enjoyed the FNAF movie. It was way better than I thought it was going to be. I still don't think it's as good as the adaptations of like Sonic the Hedgehog or even the Mario movie. But it is made very clear that, yes, I have Facebook as well. Thank you. Let's see here. Where was I? As far as it is in its own universe. That is clear. That this film is happening in its own universe, separate from the games. They combined several games into one. For example, William Afton is killed at the end of that movie. But, you know, I always come back, just like the film. We know that there's going to be at least a trilogy. But, like, I enjoyed seeing Vanessa. I've always kind of had this feeling that Vanessa is something more. And I've actually been watching people playing the new FNAF game, and it's clear she is more. So getting to see her in a bigger role was actually really good in that film.
But I haven't posted my review of Ruby and Gilman.
Trolls band together. The worst one yet, I gave it a 3 out of 11. It was so predictable. The characters were not likable in this. I stand by that the second one was actually good. The first one was meh. The second one was good, and this one, man, I just don't know. I liked the side character, the Bergens, and that's like the most positive thing. The villain, I thought maybe if the brother had like a little earlier sided with them, then maybe I could have had a little sympathy for him, but I don't have sympathy because he literally doesn't out his sister till the final 5 minutes of the film. The whole boy band thing just didn't end up working. No, it's fine. That's actually why I'm doing it. Facebook doesn't show. Well, they do, but you have to have a special setup to show comments. Oh, I hit the wrong thing here. But we were getting toward the end. There's Shoals band together. Really didn't enjoy it.
This might be a little biased.
Just
now that rating is subject. All right, so
Wish. Everyone's been tearing this one a new one. I gave it 5 out of 11. I was sure that I was gonna at least listen to one or two of the songs. I can't listen to This Is the Thanks I Get. I thought it was gonna replay or So I Make This Wish, whatever it's called that song. But while it's not a case, those songs are cases where if you're not watching the film, you can't really listen to them out of context. So I played them all a second time and I haven't played them since. I just really did not enjoy the movie. I was hoping anything that they would have some sort of twist. Honestly, where the villain changes his mind. But nope, they just go full villain with him. The side characters, I get. And I'm glad to see that everyone's in agreement with me. That Wish was just not the way to end your 100th year, Disney. Seriously. Disney has, I agree, been struggling lately with a lot of their films. I actually liked Ahsoka, but primarily the reason I liked Ahsoka was because, well, I was a huge fan of Rebels, so getting to see Ezra again and essentially proving that that is canon was pretty awesome. But like Mandalorian 3, I understand people didn't like Mandalorian Season 3 as much as the past two. I agree there. Disney has just been kind of losing it, and we're going to get to I believe next is the Marvels.
Okay, continuing where we left off.
Sorry, this was when I started having the technical issues and why I decided to come back to YouTube instead of Facebook. Oh, so before we talk about the Marvels, there is actually one other movie that was shocking to me, and that was Leo. I've seen a lot of people talking about Leo lately and how they don't love it. It's no Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, for sure. But I was shocked. I am actually a fan. No, I have not tried Twitch. I was actually a fan of How to Train Your Dragon, not that. Hotel Transylvania. I loved Hotel Transylvania 1. Not a fan of Hotel Transylvania 2, but I liked 3, and I thought 4 was okay. But I liked the first. I liked the first and the third one for sure. Hotel Transylvania's, and I knew, actually, I think Brian Hull was the voice of Drac in the third one. The guy who was doing the TV show, which I didn't like the TV show at all. But Adam Sandler, I know he can do a good job in animated movies. So, seeing Leo, I was like, okay, he does kind of do the annoying voice. I do agree with people there. And I also do agree, I've seen some people saying that the lessons he teaches aren't good. But, for example, when he sings the song Don't Cry, he gets called out on it. Like, it is okay to cry. So that would honestly be the one lesson where I say he taught something bad and it's called out on it. I don't think they needed that third act. That would be my big complaint. The third act where essentially, the Miss Malkin takes him to the Everglades. Maybe if they had played it as like this was still his intention to go there, but higher payout, huh? Yeah, well, that is the plan, hopefully. Gotta get big first. But that's actually why I'm coming back to YouTube, is because I want to try to make some money off this again. And now we're coming up to the end of the year. Both Boy and the Heron and Wonka. First, Boy and the Heron. I thought it was going to be rough when it started out and the boy wasn't talking at all. Thankfully, it did turn out to be one of those cases where they just delay the boy talking and he does actually talk. I did see the dubbed version because when a dub is available, I watch the dub. Studio Ghibli, I haven't seen all their movies. That's something where, like, if I became popular enough to go back and watch stuff that I haven't seen before, I'd have to go back definitely and watch Studio Ghibli films before. I had seen Spirited Away. That was the first Ghibli film I ever saw. I've still never seen My Neighbor Totoro. That's definitely one I should do. But I went to see The Boy and the Heron because I am totally into anime now, like even more than I was a couple years ago. And I mean, it's weird, but I really enjoyed that film. The Boy and the Heron. Again, it is definitely a more of an artsy film, but if you're it's not a shonen like with all sorts of action. It's not actiony at all. But if you're a Studio Ghibli fan, I've seen a lot of Studio Ghibli fans say, like, the past couple of movies haven't been that great, and, like, this is a return to form for them. It does have a very much a Spirited Away feel to me, and I did enjoy Spirited Away. So I actually got behind The Boy and the Heron. I think the heron in it is kind of weird. Once that is a more recent movie, so I won't reveal the kind of twist, but when they reveal what the heron is, I thought it was a little weird, but I'm glad they didn't go full villain with the heron or even bad guy, honestly. The ending was a little weird with the twist, but the final ending, because there's kind of like a fake out ending and then a real ending. The real ending kind of worked it out. I'm talking about Disney plus Hulu merger. Aren't they already together? I mean, I already have both. Oh, Wonka.
You know,
Sorry.
I've been
I didn't talk about Wonka. Wow. Wonka was actually really amazing. I went in there not expecting too much, but I got sucked in the whole thing, and while I didn't love it for sure, it's more along the fact that, like, they've got that kind of stereotypical opening with the Wonka being stuck in the where he's staying with group and then like gets kind of scammed out of his money and has to work there. But I like they don't stay there. I like they don't focus on it too much. And yes, that still plays an aspect of the story, but they go where they're supposed to and investigate Wonka, turn it into a chocolatier. I'd say the one thing I didn't like about Wonka was the Oompa Loompa. The story they gave him. We've seen so many times. Here's the thing, even both adaptations of the Wonka story have actually given us the backstory where they came from Loompa Land. He went there to meet them, so having an Oompa Loompa come meet him because he stole something from them. But even then, that's the one aspect I don't like. All the musical numbers, I actually found myself actually really enjoying all the musical numbers. I enjoyed the story that the girl that he was working with had. And while I didn't think it was going to happen, the fact that the villains do eventually, in the end, get there, come up.
Kung Fu Panda, Dragon Knight.
The fact that the villains in the end do end up getting their comeuppance, and the way it happens is funny enough that although the movie starts out kind of rough, in my opinion, it does start picking up steam, and once it picks up steam, it does not stop. Even the Loompa Loompa, although it's bad start and he doesn't even show up till like halfway in the film, the ending is okay in my opinion, and it goes where you think it would, where he invites this Oompa Loompa that was, I guess, the one who was supposed to protect whatever it was that Wonka stole, to basically go back and say, hey, get all your people and come work for me, and then they end it right there. it does mean that that film, that kind of, you have to see Wonka as its own separate universe, because he kind of keeps the girl at the end, so I've got to believe that. And for example, Slugworth is defeated and his full-on enemy in this, so there can't be a continuity where, surprise, surprise, Slugworth, if you saw the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory movie, can't be working for him secretly, because they're just full-on enemies in that. So this was about Wish. I spoke more about Wish, and let's just see what I said about Wish, because I did want to talk about that one just a little more. Comment on an opinion that everyone had that I actually didn't bring up in my Wish review. Not all wishes are good, and thus not all wishes should be granted. So I do think that Disney failed in making Magnifico a villain in Wish. Or more, I should say, they made him a villain for no reason, and I know a lot of YouTubers have been saying that, and I'm 100% in agreement of that. They even had a way to do it, honestly. Instead of Magnifico mind controlling that one guy, I just read it instead of my whatever front. Yeah, they could have actually had Asha's friends wish to be stronger be a bad thing, and that is like the conflict of the film. They just had so many ways to go about that conflict, and it just failed. And like I said a couple of minutes ago, just the whole idea. Discord, that's a good idea. Definitely going to be trying a bunch of new things this year, along with my other channel. Going to probably be turning that into a reaction channel, because I'm not a good enough gamer over there, and I'm cooling it on the ski video. So next couple of months I'll be primarily focusing on this channel, getting it back up and running after 3 years. Wonka. I talked about junk food. I'll talk about it real quick. The Kung Fu Panda and the Dragon Knight, that was a Netflix series I was watching. It did come to an end, but it came to a really disappointing end. That, honestly, if you watch it, I told people to just stop after episode, I forgot the exact episode number. I do recommend the show, but I recommend just stopping after episode, I thought I had it written. I don't have it written, but it's one of the final episodes. Just like, don't watch the last 3 or 4 episodes of the series. They're just additional episodes that. My other channel is bsperoz. That's BSPEROZ. So it's my first name's initial, then my last name, and then Z. I'm taking a break from that one for 2 months to get this one back up and running. But I do ski videos on there, and I'm going to probably make it into a reaction channel. Coming towards the end. Oh, wait a minute. So we got 2 more to talk about. Aquaman and Lost Kingdom. I know. Now this is where I'm actually going to deviate a little bit, because I actually enjoyed it. I know a lot of people are not enjoying it, but I actually enjoyed it. I liked what they did. I loved the team up thing. But I think the reason I like it is clearly trying to rip off Marvel's Thor Ragnarok, where Loki and Thor team up. They are clearly just trying to do that again in the DC version, and I do think Thor Ragnarok is better than the Lost Kingdom. Really, I would say I don't have to say too much about that one, because it is just DC's version of Thor Ragnarok. So maybe that's why I got a kick out of it. I know a lot of people don't like it, and I can definitely see the points that they made.
I did see that.
And then the last one was The last one for the year that I saw was Migration. I actually love that Illumination did an original story and did it good, did it well. So we had the Super Mario Brother movies from them, and then we had their own original story, Migration. I thought it was funny. I thought it was predictable, and even the one part I didn't like, the father and the son kind of breakup moment, is over very quickly. It was forced, but it was over very quickly. It doesn't linger. And the fact that they quickly make up was good. I love the fact that the father is not your stereotype. I mean, it's definitely a trope you've seen before, but the father in it is not hateable. He's not like a bad dad. He's definitely a good dad. And his kids and his wife see that. And really, that actually comes to the end of the 2023 films. You know, this isn't one of my traditional reviews where I'll go for like 15, 20 minutes because talking about a movie in detail. I just wanted to get a video up on this channel before I resume in 2024. So I figured, hey, you know, I'll do a video today at the end of 23, briefly talking about all my 2023 CinematicCritic reviews before coming back to YouTube and starting in 2024. What is the next movie?
Yeah, after seeing Aquaman.
Oh, I don't have Showcase Subscribe on my tablet, so I don't know what the next movie is, but I'll definitely be seeing a movie soon. Even though I'll be taking a break from my other channel for 2 months, I will still keep this one going. I will. Also, I'm still planning on my other channel. If you are subscribed to my other channel, I am still planning on. I still have the ski video from last year, from the big vacation in March, to I'm going to edit and upload it. That'll be sometime in late January. There won't be any ski videos from this year yet because of the conditions have been bad. But videos, there are still going to be weekly or bi-weekly videos up here. Depends on how many movies are going to come out. And as always, you might get just if you were one of my subscribers on the Facebook page, you know sometimes there'll be 2 or 3 a week. It's rare, especially since we're going into winter where there's not going to be as many movies. Yes, I do have an Epic Ski Pass, actually. I was skiing at Attitash this whole past week. I did not take any video at Attitash because they had literally one run open that I was doing. I did it several times a day, and just didn't bother I haven't put the camera on the ski helmet. I'm actually planning to do a day trip tomorrow, but as I said, I did post on that channel a separate video announcing that like in December and January. It's just going to be for me. I'll probably start shooting ski videos in February, and I definitely will be shooting, just like last year, ski videos for my big March vacation, which this year I'm going to resorts I have never been to. So, yeah, I'll definitely, and that big vacation this year, I do plan to go back to Attitash and record there. I recorded a video last year where I rode the Summit Triple for the last time at Attitash, and the Mountaineer is open. I unfortunately did not get to ride the Mountaineer because they actually couldn't open the top. Not because the lift wasn't ready, but because there was no snow up there. It was just very bad conditions up there, unfortunately. So let's hope that just like last year, it started out bad and got good. So if you are, I'm going to go ahead and end this now. If you are a fan of skiing, bsperoz, that's bsperoz, that's the channel. My big vacation from last year, I will be editing those and sending those up, and I'll be doing another one this year. As far as other things on that channel go, as I said, I'm going to not really game on that channel anymore. I'm going to try reaction videos. Like I didn't do an actual reaction video. You know, I can actually go ahead and end the video with this. The Amazing Digital Circus. When the Amazing Digital Circus episode 2 comes out, I will be reacting to that. And honestly, now that this channel is active, I should actually probably do the reaction on this channel. I guess if I wanted to review it, I love the Amazing Digital Circus. I'm also a fan of Hell of a Boss. I didn't really like Has Been Hotel, and I know that lately there's been a little bit of controversy around the creator of Hell of a Boss too, or Has Been Hotel. But I'm not going to get into that. Been a lot of controversy this year with YouTuber. One of my favorite YouTubers, Illuminati. Oh boy. But I also did my own theory. I'm a fan of MatPat, as I said when I talked about FNAF. The Amazing Digital Circus. I would definitely recommend it, but it is not for kids. It is definitely one of the other things. I do think that I would actually like to. I enjoyed it even more than Hell of a Boss, so I do think that would actually be a case where maybe I go back and watch Glitch's other production, Murder Drones, because I had actually seen MatPat's theory on that and said, oh, this actually looks interesting. But it was MatPat's theory on what the Amazing Digital Circus, where I actually had to stop and say, no, wait, this looks like something I would actually watch. And it is. It is definitely something where I have to watch it. Its release day. So episode 2, when that comes out, I will actually be reacting to that. I can't really react to episode 1 now because I've seen it so many times and watched so many other reactions. But I really enjoyed it. I've got my own theories. You know, one theory is that it's hell. My theory is that it's purgatory. I know one of the wild theories is that Pomni could be Jesus. There's definitely some sort of religion going on because Cain and Abel. I would say that's the thing I'm most looking forward to. Yes, I do post these on Facebook. That's what I'm going to be doing. I originally do all the reviews on Facebook. Like, if I can open this back up for one more second. See, like the review for Migration is already on there. All these reviews.
I had more fun with Migration.
All these reviews that I briefly talked about have full-blown 15 to 20 minutes. Sometimes it's only 10. But they have full-blown reviews from 2023, 2022, and 2021 are on my Facebook page. Facebook is a pain in the butt. You can't download the videos anymore. So you can, but it would be like a whole hassle. So I'm going to leave those reviews over there. It's going to be a lot easier to just do the review here and share the video on my Facebook page. So people on the Facebook page can still see the video. They just got to click a link to go to YouTube to see the YouTube page. Okay, fair. I've only seen a CinematicCritic review of it. I have not actually seen the live-action Mario Brothers movie. I do know about it enough, though. And the CinematicCritic reviews, they always review the full thing, and so I know the whole story, I know the whole plot. And I'm sorry, I gotta disagree. Again, going back to talking about Mario. As I did earlier, I do think that Mario wasn't really Mario and Peach wasn't really Peach. But by God, I absolutely loved Jack Black as Bowser, and I can't wait to see where they go with this. Likewise, I will say, I didn't mention this, but I will, because it wasn't a 2023 movie. I can't wait to see Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I do still stand by that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is better than the Mario movie. But I do also say that the Mario movie was better than the first Sonic movie. Don't get me wrong, the first Sonic movie was great. They have all been great. I know, I don't look at the box office. Like, I know Mario did better at the box office than Sonic, but I don't look at it that way. I look at, like, which one do I enjoy? But then again, as I said when I talked about the Mario movie, I am more biased towards Sonic. That was one of the games I actually played this year, and it was one of the first. In fact, it was the first Sonic game that I ever completed Sonic Frontiers. Of course, now they've got this DLC that I started playing but haven't completed yet. So I haven't done the DLC. But I actually, as a gamer, this past year, my 2 games that I did on my other channel were the Sonic Frontiers and Hogwarts Legacy, and I beat both. I have met the Nostalgia Critic as well. He actually came to Providence once. I actually have a photo of me with him. I got starstruck, so I actually didn't tell him about CinematicCritic. I wanted to tell him about CinematicCritic. That was years ago. That was before his whole controversy. His whole controversy, which thankfully is over. Unlike Illuminati, he actually handles his controversy well enough. I know. I know a recent one I don't want to talk about here is like the Dream controversy that's going on. Like, he's handling his very well with his apology video, where Illuminati did not, and a year later that's still going on. I'm not big enough to have a controversy yet, and even if it did, I would definitely be. So Twitch. Yeah, I definitely see. The thing is, and I'll say this for all my subscribers, the reason that I haven't really pushed CinematicCritic so much is because it has been something fun, and as you can see, I am still in my parents' house. But I'd say that's for about 1 more year, because I have just been, the past couple of years, I have been in a real career for once. I've been saving up a ton of money. I'd say this time next year I'll have my own house. So, but I am definitely more active now, and I do want to get this back up and running. You know, there was a time on Facebook where I stopped CinematicCritic completely and wasn't even doing reviews on Facebook. I'm just trying to collect myself, and that's what I've been doing, like, in my life. It is very much why I didn't want to put up with YouTube stuff. I wanted to do things I enjoy. Skiing, I absolutely love to ski. It's so easy to just hit a record button and forget that the camera's even on. And I don't stress about it anymore. But that's something that's been going on in my life, is I've realized, you know what? If something doesn't work, it doesn't work. But you gotta try. And that's why I want to get back on YouTube. I want to actually try again. I didn't make a lot of money, but there was actually a point in time 4 years ago where I was making like $50 a month off videos, off of views. And even if this never becomes my career, I'm actually fine with that, even if I don't make money off of it. I really do enjoy reviewing movies, which is why after several months of not doing it, I actually brought CinematicCritic back on Facebook, and now I'm ready to bring it back over here. Because I enjoy reviewing movies. I realized, yeah, that, given my opinion, is the whole thing. You gotta focus on like some of the critical stuff of these movies, which I honestly didn't really do in this video. But as I said, if anyone here on YouTube wants to see my thoughts of the past 3 years, it's all available on the CinematicCritic Facebook page.
Well, they've actually been kind of making a comeback.
You know, CinematicCritic movie reviews Facebook page. That's going to be backwards because we're on YouTube and they flip everything. But if you want to see my video reviews from the past years, all the detailed ones, full reviews of all the movies I just talked about, and the ones from 2021 and 2022, they're all over there on the Facebook page. All future reviews are coming back here. I will, of course, share this video. This will be the first video I share to the CinematicCritic Movie Reviews Facebook page from YouTube, and will be going forward for the rest of the year. And then if you want to see ski videos or reaction videos, whatever I end up doing with the other channel, definitely ski videos. They're all going to be coming up on my other channel, bsperoz, BSPEROZ. Although, like I said, the reaction for if I react to movies or YouTube videos or films like that, they may actually come over here. I'm gonna have to determine that over the next 2 months. I'm gonna pull back from YouTube over the next 2 months, other than reviewing movies, to get myself ready for this. Military provided me. I said, no, I couldn't get in the military. Thanks for watching and staying with me. Go like the Facebook page if you haven't already, because, as I said, all the videos from the past year are there. This was obviously a kind of rough video. I don't do much editing. If a time ever comes where I go popular, then obviously I'm going to have to do editing. I do edit my ski videos, for example, the big one that'll come up for the March vacation. I'll have editing and music and everything. And I do edit my, like I have an edited cut together of my best Sonic Frontiers moments, for example. My S-Rink run up the boss rush. And I even redid the final boss much better. So instead of taking 8 lives, it only took me 2. I do not review games. I only play them. I did get a gaming computer. My primary reason for getting a gaming computer was actually video editing, because it is a gaming monster, but it was primarily for editing videos, because I do 4K 360 videos of my skiing, which, as I said, even if I cool down over the next 2 months, I'll still be doing the weekly or bi-weekly reviews over here, and I'll still, even though I'm not going to be recording in January, I am going to finish up last year's ski videos, because I still haven't edited the big vacation I had in March, and that's going to be a case where I'm going to be editing hours of videos. You like rough vids? Yeah, and that's honestly part of the reason why I'm coming back here, and honestly part of why, as I said on my bsperoz channel, this year, I'm actually planning on not editing so much, not making these big, long videos. Like, if you go over there, I'll have ski videos that are 4.5 hours long. I think instead what I'm going to be doing is not editing them so much. I'm going to try it in February. Like, I'll still have a big, long, edited video every year for my vacation. Like, I'm going to have the one for last year for March. That's going to be a big, long, edited video, maybe in different parts. But that's because that was like my big long trip to places I had never been. And that's going to be the case this year too. But for other stuff, I'm actually planning on just straight uploading clips, unedited clips from my camera. And I mean, even like you mentioned, even CinematicCritic has his Doug Walker review show where he doesn't do a big production, where he does talk about stuff like this. He does just talk like this with just a camera. I do actually pay for an editing program though called Power Director. I actually really enjoy it. It's not too expensive, and the reason I pay for that is with a gaming computer, you can really do things fast. The Power Director program that I use has the ability to actually use your gaming computer as a video to speed up video processing. So what used to take 4 or 5 hours now takes 40 minutes. A 4.5 hour video can be done in 1 hour, as opposed to on my old computer it used to take like 16 hours. So yeah, I'm not going to mess with I finally found a video program that I actually really enjoy. Although I did like iMovie, but I don't have a Mac anymore. You mentioned the Icon Pass. Too expensive. I am still in an area where because I'm really saving up, maybe someday, I would love to do that someday. Again, that would be over on the bsperoz channel though, not the CinematicCritic channel here. This is going to be, CinematicCritic is going to be purely for the video reviews that I've been doing. Anything else that I try is going to be on the bsperoz channel. Ski videos are not going anywhere. Even if there's less, they're still going to be there. Icon Pass, it's a little expensive. What I have this year is Indie Pass. I have Epic Pass, and I bought myself an Indie Pass this year. That's why every single mountain I go to is a mountain I've never been to, with the exception, years ago I went to Saddleback early season. But I want to go back there in March when they're fully open with their glades and everything, and I'm going to be there 2 days instead of just one. Yeah. Well, if you like gaming videos, you can go watch. As I said, I did the Sonic Frontiers. I beat it, not the new DLC, but I beat the full base game. I did the final boss with losing just 2 lives instead of 8. I managed to S-rank the boss rush of the first island. Honestly, that's actually probably something I would go back to, is Sonic Frontiers. I do still, at some point, I'm going to be playing it on easy, but I do want to go, because the DLC is really hard. I'm going to be changing from normal to easy. And then, as I said, I did the Ramrock Dragon. Unfortunately, with Harry Potter Legacy, you can't replay that final boss unless you start a whole new game, which I'm not going to do. So the fact that I did not do very well on the Ramrock boss, I beat him, but only just. I really do wish I had gone back there. But in my defense, I was playing him under-leveled. I was like 2 or 3 levels under the recommended level. So the fact that I could beat him at all was shocking. But, well, I've been going for an hour and 7 minutes. I am skiing tomorrow. I don't know whether I'm going to record it yet. Probably not, because they too, I'm going to a different mountain, but they too only have 2 runs. As I did tell my other channel that I'm probably not going to be recording in January. I'm probably going to start recording in February. We do need some better conditions this year, as far as that goes. And to bring it back to CinematicCritic, we do need some better movies. Migration Leo, I'm just glad that I saw Migration, because I did not want the last film of the year to be Wish. So I don't know what else is going to be coming up on the CinematicCritic page here. This is the first CinematicCritic video I've done in 3 years on YouTube. So I'll just say one more time, go check out CinematicCritic on the Facebook page, unless you're already watching this on the well, you couldn't be watching this on the Facebook page. I'm going to put the link on the Facebook page, but that'll bring you to YouTube. So for now, I'm going to call it. More to come, plenty more to come. CinematicCritic signing out. Thanks for watching.